3, 2, 1. It's go time. Welcome to the show. It's go time. This is the ultimate podcast for salespeople and sales managers that are in the trenches, that got to talk to a human being to make a sale. You found the right place. All right. And we got a doozy here for today. But as always, joined to us in the studio is the Croatian Tiger, our technology genius,
Mr. Robert Bazaki.
What he can do with technology is amazing. That's why this round of It's Go Time is going to be bigger and better. And of course, joining us again is our co-host, Dylan Wynn. Dylan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. And can't forget Mr. Patrick Holder.
There we go. And I'm here too. Yep, Pat Holder. And we were talking off camera, and ultimately we're here to help you get more confidence, feel a little bit more inspired and motivated to go out there and do something very hard. And that's what we call sales, and doing it at a high level, and doing it at a high level for a long time. Right, because that's the key. And today we got a good episode for you. It's about the biggest pitfalls that we see with salespeople.
I really like this topic because I feel like people don't talk about it. And when we talk about biggest pitfalls, do you remember when we went to Andy Elliott like 2 years ago?
Absolutely.
We flew out to like Arizona, and shout out Pat, he made it all happen. We were working out with like everyone, and we were going up this hill.
It's a big hill,
and there's 5 of us, right? You and another teammate were just running through it, and I had this weird ego. It's like, I need to stick with them. I'm gonna push them through, and I'm gonna go up this hill with them. And dude, that hill was tough. I don't even know how you ran through the whole thing, honestly.
There is about 150 other people, and I didn't want to have them see weakness in me. Plus, I've been running for a while too, so I saw it as a good challenge.
Yeah, so we're running up, and then for some reason on the way down, we just stopped. We just started walking, and I was like, "Hey," I was just trying to encourage him. I was like, "Hey, let's go, let's go."
Never walk on a run.
And exactly, and you just see these people passing by, and I was like, "Oh, it's just a workout, it's whatever." And then that night, everyone circled up, and I forgot what's Andy Elliott's wife's name.
We'll put that in the show notes.
Oh yeah, and
Miss Elliott,
Mrs. Elliott. Oh yeah,
she's a beast.
And she was talking about it, and she was like, "What you guys did on that run is reflects of who you are in the sales, and for some reason you just worked so hard climbing up this hill, and now you're on the downslope. You can catch so much momentum. You can pass literally most of the people in the race, but you chose to walk." And I feel like in pitfalls of salespeople, once they catch that momentum, once they just peak the hardest part of that season, they start walking.
Yep.
And
things are good. You get all cushy gushy.
Oh yeah. And you got to start running.
Yes.
You got put the gas to the pedal and just start sprinting through everything.
Absolutely.
And that slows a lot of people's progress down.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. 100%. We are going to do an entire episode, maybe even a series on momentum. Right? It's the invisible force. We see it in sports, right? A team could be down by 10, 15 points or whatever in basketball, but we're like, oh boy, that team, they could really win. They got a good chance to win, even though they're down. Why? It's the invisible force of momentum. So one of the biggest pitfalls is momentum and not using it right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, because you work so hard to catch it, and you're like, oh, life is easier, so I'm going to start walking. No, run through it.
That's right.
Because then you're just going to get to the next hill a lot faster.
Exactly.
Instead of wondering like, dang, I feel behind. You just got to run through it every single time. And I mean, if you need a break, I guess you could take one at the bottom of it, but you just got to continue. It's like, I worked so hard to get up here. I'm going to enjoy the view and go down as quick as possible so I can get to the next point, and the next point, and the next point.
And even if you're gassed, I mean, just like keep jogging. It can be at a snail's pace, but like keep it going, right? Don't stop. I like that a lot. Yeah, I see a lot. I mean, what we're talking about today is like the things we've screwed up on.
Yeah,
right?
This is me, by the way. I mean, I was the guy walking. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's understanding momentum, right? Is like if you have a great day. Sometimes it's a little easier and feeling more natural, maybe even to not go to work with the right intention, the same intention as before. Why? Because we got some commissions coming in.
And I like you always bring up the point, you're like, you should never finish on a yes.
Yeah.
Should always finish on the
Oh
no.
yeah.
And
Shoot till you miss.
exactly. I think that's really cool because like that tells you, okay, now the run is over. I'm not telling the run's over. The run is over. It's because I'm ending on a no, not a yes.
Yes.
You shouldn't burn your fire out quicker than it needs to be.
Look, I'm telling you, like never end your day or your week or your push period on a yes, right? Just shoot till you miss and whatever that. Now I'm talking about when you're presenting to folks, not on the approach. Because a lot of times if you're in a high prospecting, let's just say you don't have any leads. Well, that's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 phone calls, right? I'm talking about shoot till you miss on presentations. Keep presenting to people until somebody tells you no. I can't tell you. I probably earned an extra, over my career, like tens of thousands of dollars just by going shooting till you miss. Like I remember one day specifically, it was at the end of a push period. It's a 5-day push period. And I'm gassed, man. It's 3 or 4 p.m. Like we've been staying up late, just talking with teammates, coaching each other up, stuff like that. And I remember at the last day, I was like so tired, so exhausted. It's been a great week. And I just kept saying, hey, shoot till you miss, shoot till you miss, shoot till you miss. And people kept buying. And like, I really got in the mindset of like, I hope they don't. And then they pick one. Right. And so it's kind of a weird thing. But
you just want to stop.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's like, I know, like I got more commissions this week than normal, right? I'm feeling good. Teammates will be proud of me. I'm going to be on the leaderboard. It's like check. Like all the check boxes are checked, but like, keep going. Like the question is, do you have more in the tank? Do you have more time on the clock? Right.
And it's really cool with that is in track, when you're running, they don't tell you to stop running when you hit the finish line. They actually tell you to run through the finish line. So you can finish it through 100%.
Yes. So if you're taking notes, it's like, how can I run through the finish line? Maybe not to the finish line. Very important. That can be in your business. That can be in your workouts. So
relationships,
important. Exactly.
Everything.
So another pitfall that I see in myself is not stretching or reaching for the next level, right? Maybe the next breadth of accomplishment.
What do you mean by that?
Well, so you just got rookie of the year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not the end all be all, is it? Right. So it would be what's next, right? Because a lot of times we cross that finish line and then a lot of times we take the foot off the gas. And so it's stretching ourselves and pushing ourselves for the next breadth of accomplishment. It could be our next promotion. It could be our next level of income, right? It could be like, what is that for you? So are we growing? Are we pushing ourselves and are we reaching and stretching for the next breadth of accomplishment? Because I'm telling you, if we don't have something we're relentlessly chasing, our sales are going to dip 100%. Tell me an example where you've seen that pop up in your business.
Dude, that question's crazy. Because when I first hit $20,000.
And that's deposits in a month.
Deposits in a month.
Okay.
We have this saying, it's like, if you don't hit $20,000 in a single month, not overspending, you're under earning.
Right. Can I say it? That until you're earning $20,000 a month, you are not overspending, you are under earning.
Write that down.
Yeah. I heard that from Michael Chu. And I'm sure he heard that from somebody. But yeah, that's a great thing. And we'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah, and I was chasing it like consistently. And it was so weird because it happened in September last month. I finished with 27 on the month.
Hell yeah.
And when I hit 20, we were all in the B&B. I was with all the new guys. They're like, heck yeah, man.
Right,
dude,
you're rich now.
Yeah, you're rich. Buy us dinner. They're like celebrating. And it was for some reason, when I hit it, I felt depleted. Kind of talking about, like, I stopped thinking about the next income. I stopped thinking about my next goal. It's like, I feel completed. I feel like I can relax.
Yes.
And now I felt empty.
And that's natural.
It's very natural.
When you hit your accomplishment or your goal. Have you ever heard the example of the gold medal winners in the Olympics?
No.
They invest their entire lives to get there. And then they hit the gold medal and then they're depressed. And that's because we're not stretching or reaching for the next level. Right. Or Jocko Willink says, find a new mission. Like, right. Because he's talking about veterans getting out of the military and then, feeling low after that. And so what's your next mission, right? And so always be trying to stretch or reach for that next breadth of accomplishment. What's the next level of income for you? And you're going to have a lot more juice and a lot more gumption, right? That's basically like, hey, man, where's my North Star right now? And when you were talking about you reach 20K in a month, and then you're like, well, now what?
Yeah,
Right?
and that goes into
You said deflated
and that it made me feel complacent.
and complacent.
Yeah, because I was like, it's easier to stay here than try to shoot for the next goal. And I was like, oh, I just worked so hard to get here. Should I even try to shoot for more? I was like, life feels pretty good. I
Yep.
should just stay here.
Comfy.
But just like we talked about last time, it's like you're gonna feel pain one way or the other. You might as well make it meaningful. You might as well make it worth the sacrifice than just trying to hold on to something that's actually depleting.
Absolutely.
And it was really cool. You mentioned just you have to go for the next income. You have to go what's next because the world's moving one way or the other. You got to move with it.
Come on.
Or you're just gonna be left behind.
That's right. Yep. I love that. I love that. Yeah. I mean, so one thing that I think about, because, whenever I'm feeling low, because like it's, some folks call me Positive Pat, but man, I'm in the valley of despair sometimes, as he says in the 12-week year. And I once
you
I
get down
all the time, man. all the time.
Positive Pat.
Yeah, a lot. And it's one thing's cohesive. It's like, one, if I'm not doing my workouts, if I'm not playing guitar, if I'm not being around teammates, if I'm not pushing myself in the business, but it's because I don't have a true target, right? I'm just trying to like keep it all together, right? And that's not a lot of energy, right? It's in the present, not in the future. And so if you're losing motivation or energy in your business, go to your goal. What are you chasing? What are you relentlessly attacking? Because you can tell me you're attacking something, but how's your behavior? How's your actions? What's your schedule like? Is it really optimized for that? So, because when we don't have a true target, we lose all the good stuff. We lose the momentum, we lose a lot of motivation, and we lose resilience. Right? We lose resilience because if we're not pushing ourselves, then the first sign of a setback, a lot of times our confidence is brittle at that point. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now, I'm just going to go through the motions, and then you get, a door slammed in your face, or somebody hanging up on you, or a setback, or you get a chargeback, or, a bill comes out of nowhere. Then all of a sudden you're very fragile. So this actually helps you become way more sturdy in your confidence by chasing something. So you're actually more secure. At least for me, I'm just speaking for myself, but I coach a lot of people, and it's true for most as well.
It makes every little thing feel less. It doesn't feel as impactful when you have a big target.
Exactly. You're skipping over the rejection. You're skipping over the setback. You're skipping like, think about on the road, right? If you're going across the country, you're not worried about the little pothole, right? You're not worried about the little roadblock. I'm going there. Who cares about that? But if you're just driving, then it's way more impactful. So always have a goal that you're stretching for, something that you're relentlessly attacking, that you want, that's important to you. And I like really check that. Like, you got to be honest with yourself, because it's not what you say to others. It could be, but it's what you're truly chasing, right?
Yeah, it's like saying, like, it's the saying that goes, you're not who you say you are. Let me say that again. You're not who you say you are. You're the person you practice. And the person you play is a daily basis of who you are, what you're doing, what's your rituals, what's your reps, what's your mindset. That's who you are. Not who you say you are. It's who you practice.
7 days a week.
Always.
Now, it's not about selling 7 days a week. That's not what we're talking about. But guess who goes with you 7 days a week? You, right? So it's important that we carry some momentum 7 days a week in some way, shape, or form, right? I love that. So what's another pitfall? Maybe a pitfall you had. Maybe a pitfall you see other people have. Maybe a pitfall you see in me from time to time. Because we're all human beings at the end of the day.
Always. And I think one of my biggest pitfalls that kind of held me back was not evolving my why.
Not evolving your purpose.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not doing more because of what you're supposed to be doing. Because as humans, we learn to adapt. We learn to evolve. And if
Very
you're
quickly.
Exactly. And like my why, my purpose of why I came here, it's not the reason why I'm still going. The saying is like, what I did here won't get me to the next level. You got to do more, or you got to change gears. You got to switch playbooks just because it's a different season now.
Yeah.
It's a different time now, and we got to keep evolving. And if you don't evolve your why, you kind of feel like you're not tracking your progress. And when you don't track your progress, because you already accomplished it, like the 20,000 in a month, it was, okay, I hit my goal. What else? And it led to complacency. and it led me to be really down, depleted, sorry for what I accomplished. It's like, dang, the chase seemed better than actually accomplishing it.
Interesting.
Or I sat down, debriefed what that meant. It was like, okay, it's time to change levels. It's trying to go for the next income, the next goal, evolving my purpose of what I'm doing now. And now it makes me do different levels that I wouldn't have done a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And sometimes we get in this, so I'm 35. How old are you?
24.
24. And so, we talk to a lot of guys that are in their 20s and we feel like we have to have it figured out. I got into sales when I was 25 and I was in what they call a quarter life crisis, whatever the hell that means, right? I was lost, confused, not a lot of confidence. Didn't know where to go in professional wise, just went through a breakup. It was like the low of lows. Right. And my why getting to sales was this big. And for those on audio, it's my fingers are touching each other. It's low. It's nothing. My why was nothing. It was like, I just don't want to serve tables anymore. And so the why has to evolve as time goes on. But we think we have to have it all figured out right away. I got to find my life's purpose.
Yeah, you don't got to. We're humans.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to make mistakes for us to grow. So give yourself grace for it.
Yeah. And just keep trying. Like, what could be your why right now, and see what sticks. See what actually genuinely gets you motivated and gets you out of bed, right? And so, we sell insurance, right? And literally, when I I'm engaged now, so I don't have a dating coach anymore. But when I did have a dating coach, he said, insurance is the least sexy thing you can put on your Tinder profile. And I'm like, great. Right. But at the end of the day, we got to evolve our why. Evolve our why. So how does that apply to you, the listener?
And make sure you're okay with change with it. Because for me, it was like, okay, I joined this. I should stay loyal to this reason. But then it was like, okay, now it's holding me back. And now how can I make this purpose bigger? How can I make it bigger for me? Because when I started, it was just about me. It was just about me and my girl. How can I be a man? And that's why I joined sales. But now it's like, okay, how can I make other people the person they want to be?
Exactly.
How can I develop successful men, successful women? And then if you allow yourself to change, it hurts like growing pain does. But if you just push yourself and be like, okay, it's okay to change, world's going to move one way or the other, then your purpose is going to evolve.
And how much more motivation did you have and gumption when you shifted your why from you to others?
I went from being like the 120th agent in the company to being the 15th and rookie of the year.
Yeah.
And it changes everything.
Changes everything.
You realize,
you
realize life is bigger than just who you are.
100%. Yeah. And it's the ultimate thing. Like whenever I'm thinking about my stuff, my crap, that's our mascot right there. It's Go Time mascot. That's Chico. That's our boy. When we make it about others, that's when we really get gumption. And maybe that's when we start fulfilling our life's purpose. So going back to the insurance thing, when I first started, it was just to make a couple more bucks than I did serving tables, right? And then it started evolving. And then it started becoming about, oh my gosh, our clients are underserved. There's other people in our industry, that are not doing the right things for our clients. And so they need me. So I made it about other people. It just kind of automatically happened. It found me really, right? And I'm like, oh, wow. And then I started, being able to do some of the trainings for the company or just micro, like training just the new guy who was before me, And I was like, wow. He's like, Pat, that really helped. I'm like, it did? And then I'm like, wow, that gives you a lot of motivation. And so your why can evolve, but you got to be ready for your why to evolve.
I actually like that. I'm about to pull up a quote I just sent to the sales team. Just you saying that, I slowly started doing sales calls. The purpose came to me. And there's a saying goes, you grow by doing things you aren't qualified to do yet. Stop telling yourself you aren't qualified yet. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
You allow yourself to change. Like you said, I wanted to ask you, how did your purpose change? I know you didn't take this serious for the first 2 years.
Yeah. It was just to make some extra money. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, really, really once I started seeing an impact, and then combined with, that's a good question. Really combined with like, holy crap, like I can actually make an impact versus just serving tables. Or just, my confidence was real low. Yeah. So it was about other people, you know, and it's not necessarily the industry, but it was the people that I was with. Like I can throw my grappling hook onto this ship and hang on for the ride and make something of this with people around me, the people around me. And that's the people in our company, our leaders and our teammates and stuff like that. So it was really when I saw a future, you know, because I did not see a future for a while. And sometimes it still gets a little hazy and crazy, but you got to reconnect with that. But I think it was when I ultimately was like, oh my gosh, I started getting good at sales, right? I'll check that. I started getting mediocre, right? Went from the poop bottom, you know, to actually being able to get consistent and persistent in the deposits in my bank account. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually get to six figures at some point. So it was, but that was not without a lot of work and a lot of asking questions and stuff like that. So the purpose really came from that I can make an impact and that I can actually be pretty good at this. I think if I keep copying and pasting, if I keep going to people that are earning the money that I want and asking them questions, if I keep going to the people that have the confidence that I want and asking them questions, if people have the house that I want and I can ask them questions, I was like, oh my God, like I can learn a lot. And so that really instilled confidence and purpose. And it's like, hey, if I can learn, like I really wanted to do it for other people. It's like what other people have done for me, I want to do it for other people. And I want to do it at a much higher level as well, much more purposeful level.
This is the guy that went from just wanting to get out tables to now wanting to make other people successful. That's awesome.
Right. It's cool, man. So when you make it about other people, see how that applies for your life, listeners, is how can you make your goals about other people and watch what it does for your juice and motivation long term. I love that. Another pitfall of sales folks that I see. It's an epidemic. It's an epidemic, and it's not just in sales.
What do you mean?
Epidemic means it's everywhere and it's bad. And that is not prioritizing our financial future, and we're prioritizing our financial present. So basically it's getting our money right? If I can put it in layman's terms, is getting our money right? So prioritizing our financial future is working on having a surplus of income, of money for your lifestyle and your future. And if we're prioritizing for our financial present, then it's just enough to get by, just enough to do the stuff that we want to do, right? And so it's the biggest thing. So basically it's like, just enough to get by. I talk to a lot of folks at the sales conference, and I'm, you know, people are coming up to me asking questions about their problems. I'm like, how much money you got? And a lot of folks that have been doing it a while, had somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. I'm like, have you gotten above 10? And they're like, yeah, but it just, then I went back down. So they're raising their temperature to get to 10,000. Then they're lowering their temperature to get to 5. When they get to 5, they raise their temperature again, and they just live in this middle ground.
And they just keep going back and forth.
That's right. Do the math on that. How long is it going to take with that equation for you to get financially independent?
I really like that because
infinity years,
because it's weird when you actually decide to stop working, because we want to do something called be job optional. You just calculate how much your expenses is and how much money you have, and just do the math. How long would you be able to live without working? And then it puts you in perspective. Like, I'm way further from being wealthy, from being where I need to be to retire.
And that's the truth. Like, you got to see the truth, right? So, you know, whether it's we take calls from here or whatever, like I call it pulling down your financial pants, right? How many times did we do it on the road this week? 3 times. 3 different dudes went to this whiteboard.
Sorry, I just thought of inappropriate stuff when you said pull down your pants.
There you go. That's right. We got to keep PG for the most part. But yeah, so like, so I had teammates come up. He's like, hey man, can I talk to you about my finances? And I handed him a marker. I said, let's go to the board. We had other teammates around, right? And it's nothing to be ashamed about or nothing to be embarrassed about. Right? It is what it is. And especially if you're wanting to grow and you're wanting to get better and you don't want to be in this spot again or for a while, pull down your financial pants and go to somebody who's making the money that you want to make or has the bank account that they want or the investments net worth, whatever that you want, and say, what do you see that I don't see? What do you see that I don't see? What adjustments do I need to make? How in the hell do I get out of all this debt? How do I accomplish my goals? Right. And so we got to prioritize. That's a good tactic. Like, dude, pull down your financial pants to somebody that knows what they're talking about.
And you got to just get over that fear. For
Be
me,
okay
it
with
was, I did not want to be vulnerable when it came to show my finances.
It's hard.
But you just got to realize,
Can be.
like, if you surround yourself with people, like mentors who have the bank account you want, people who have the goals that you're chasing, then it's okay. Just allow yourself to be challenged so you can grow.
It's no problem, right? Because it's not where you're at. It's where you're going, right? And so, a lot of our teammates came into the business with debt, right? And some folks got more debt while they're in the business. That's okay. That's not a defect. It's just a strategy issue, right? So put your finances on paper, on a whiteboard with somebody and talk to them about it. But we got to prioritize our financial future.
I want to highlight what you said there real quick.
Yeah.
Was you got to go to people who have the financial situation you want. Because I feel a lot of people, they tend to go to people who they're closest to.
Yeah.
But you got to go to the people who are closest to your goals.
Yes.
And when you do that, you'll elevate everything. But if you just go to people who are closest to you, they want you to be safe. They want you to be comfortable. I love my mom to death, but that's what she wants from me. So I can't ask her for certain questions. I got to go to people who are actually going towards that goal or have that goal, who are closest to it, so I can get the most out of it.
Yeah. Only listen to folks with any type of situation, whether it's fitness or even guitar or whatever, that you would trade places with in that particular lane. Right. So if somebody's just starting on guitar, I've been playing guitar 10 years, like everybody has advice. If you ask anybody, here's a poop test, right? Start asking strangers random advice, and you'll be surprised at how many people will give you advice. For instance, I had a buddy back in the day. We were workout partners for a little bit, and he told me how to get a six-pack. He's like, "Hey man, the way to get a six-pack is this," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I had a six-pack, and he had a beer gut, but he had advice." He had advice, and it was actually sound advice, because that can happen, but be careful on who you get advice from. Here's the filter. If you not trade places with that person, with that particular, in that situation,
do not do it.
Do not, you can hear it, but don't listen. You can hear it, but don't listen. Listen means you absorb it and you apply, right? So for instance, like if somebody's been divorced 4 times, don't get marriage advice from them, right? You can hear them, but don't listen, right? Yeah. It's somebody that's got that great marriage, that have been married 30, 40, 50 years, genuinely happy, and because they know something you don't.
And we're not saying don't be very don't close off to other people. You should try to learn from everything from everybody. It's just applying that filter of what is good, what is bad.
Yes. Yeah.
For you.
And it's okay. It's all right. And sometimes, like you said, it's people really close to you. So most people, and fact check this for yourself. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. A very high percentage of, especially Americans, can't afford even $2,000 on on emergencies.
Yes.
Right. So what is that? Like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. It's a very large majority, and so that means there's a ton of bad advice out there, and a ton of bad things that we've all accepted as a society. So you kind of got to go against the grain on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, break that wiring they gave us as growing up as kids.
Yes, and that's okay. So that's a big one, is not prioritizing our financial future, and that means basically we got to be relentlessly chasing a target. Right. So the first 2 targets that I suggest our teammates go is, how quickly can you stack 10 grand? Right. That shows discipline, that net zero. So you come into sales with $1,000 in cash. That means you need to get to $11,000. So plus 10,000 on what you came into sales with. How quickly can you stack that? What does that show when you get somebody that stacks 10 grand in 6 months?
It's weird because they evolve into a different person.
Sure. They evolve into a different person. Yes.
Because they have to learn financial literacy. They got to figure out how they get good at sales to stack it.
You got to get good.
Yeah. They have to drop their financial pants to figure out what's going right, what's going wrong. They got to drop their sales pants to figure out how can I get better to stack 10,000.
Exactly.
And what that does to a person is like you're creating relationships. You're moving in a better way. You become positive path, and you just become a better human being. I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it requires the next level of ourself,
Yeah.
right? Because if you've never done that before, then guess what? It's going to take a little shift and improvement of yourself to get to that
Yeah,
level.
you have to upgrade your mind
Money, exactly.
because what did you say last talk? You said your income rarely succeeds your self development.
Yes, yeah. Jim Ron says income rarely exceeds personal or professional development. Right.
So when you chase that 10,000, when you chase that 20,000 to 30,000, 100,000, I love to think about who do I got to become
Exactly.
to hold that money, to make that money.
That's right.
And how can I make an impact on other people to do the same?
Yes. So you got the goal first. Who do I need to be to get that 100K stacked, and then start becoming that person? And that's easier said than done. Right. But at the end of the day, those are the two goals is, hey, how quickly can I stack 10K? And then how quickly can I stack 100K? Right. And that the amount of confidence that comes with that. I remember I hit 43K in my checking and it's going up. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. It wasn't the crossing the 100 mark that was what did it, but it was along the way. It's like I'm getting over objections that I don't normally do. I'm working harder than I ever have. Like I'm more motivated than I have. I'm more positive. I'm feeling good. I'm helping people along the way. It's like the person that you're going to become by chasing that. It's not about the money, folks.
It's never about the money.
Right? Like money just equals options, right? Money equals a respectable amount of freedom. It gives you a respectable amount of freedom. But not prioritizing our financial future is one of the biggest pitfalls I see. And it's not because we don't have our sales set for increase. We don't have our sales set for an increase in our net worth, right? I'm telling you, if you are flatlining in your finances for long enough, you're either going to quit or it's just going to be, or you're just going to quit eventually.
Yeah. You got to get someone to get what's it called? The thing that's like you pump on someone's chest to get the heart going. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The zappers.
Yeah, the zappers.
Yeah.
You got to get someone to zap you back in place.
There you
got
go.
Let them to zap you.
Yeah, exactly. Got to be open and available for that. You know, what was interesting as I was looking for these stats, and I'm not going to give percentages, just do your own research online is, hey, what percentage of folks are paycheck to paycheck? And it's pretty wild. But one thing I noticed is most of the reasons why people are living paycheck to paycheck were what? What do you think the reasons were that they said online?
I don't know.
It was pretty basic. So it's inflation, right? So everything's going up. It was healthcare costs. It was this, that, or the other. I only read one thing, and I dug in that said lifestyle creep. And that means as we increase our income, we increase our spending too. So there's no gap, right?
It's like you're playing against the Joneses across the street.
And that's exactly what that is. Exactly. So right when I start earning 4K a month, I just went from 3K a month to 4K a month. Well, now I'm going to get a nicer car to fill in that gap. Right. Well, now you're not saving anything still.
It's like nothing changed besides you get a nicer car.
Literally nothing changed as far as the trajectory of your financial future. Matter of fact, you might be putting yourself at more risk. So very little mention of lifestyle creep. Everything was talking about exterior things. That's what I noticed.
And then going with that, there's a saying that goes, be small enough, long enough, and you'll be big enough soon enough.
There we go. I love that.
If you
just being frugal.
Yeah, if you keep your expenses low until you get really high, then the gap of it is what is the freedom to your future.
Yeah. And so learn to say no, be frugal, increase your income. But one thing that was funny is one thing I did not see in anything I looked at. Nobody said anything about increasing income. Nobody said that the reason why people are living paycheck to paycheck is because people are not focused on increasing their incomes. And I'm saying this right now. The reason why people are living paycheck to paycheck is because they're not focused on increasing their incomes.
And if you can't increase your income, then all the stuff we're saying doesn't matter. There's no gap. There's no ceiling. Like the gap only gets bigger when you increase your income.
Exactly. And then you just become a different person, right? A more improved version of yourself. You have more options. You're able to help more people. And so it's a very, very good thing. But I just thought it was interesting that all the reasons that said, hey, this is why people are living paycheck to paycheck, not one said the actual root cause. And that is we are not focused as a society to increase our incomes. Isn't that interesting? Shh, don't talk about money. Can't talk about money. Why is that? That's crazy. It's insidious, right? Because it's like we're a lot of people are stressing about money so much.
We should be talking about it more.
We should be talking about it. We should be focused on increasing our incomes. How can you be a better version of yourself to allow that space for you to increase your income? So that's one of the biggest things. If you're stressed, like really one of the biggest stresses in sales is like, I need to make some money. And if I don't sell nothing, then I'm not going to be able to make any money. Right. And so if you're 9 to 5, you got that consistent paycheck, right? You're feeling good.
Clock out.
Yeah. And so that's easier to budget and stuff like that. But what if you just doubled your income and you kept your expenses the same? Do the math. You earn 40 grand a year and your expenses are 38. Fantastic. Well, now you doubled your income. Now you're earning 80 grand a year and you're still only spending 38. Well, ultimately everything in your life just got half off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, okay, let's try to double it again. So where in your business can you find doubles? Where can you find increases? And ultimately that's on you.
That's such a great point. Because instead of thinking about like doubling or half off, you can put the money perspective into time. Mm-hmm. That's half the time it would take for me to get to this goal.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And what do we call that on our team? About time frames.
Oh, condensing
time frames, right? So one thing, we got a lot of young guys on our team. I'm 35 and I'm over here waving my hands all the time. I'm like, look, guys, don't do what I did up into 30, right? Because you don't want to be 30 and trying to get some money, right? You don't want to be 35 and still not complete on your mission, right? And so by condensing time frames, that is basically earning as much as you can in a shorter amount of time. Really anything, doing as much as you can in a shorter amount of time, right? Because if you think about a month, right, and your expenses are $4 grand a month, right, and you're working, 5 days a week or whatever, that's 20 days. 22, 23 days in a month, right? Well, how can you condense time frames? By the way, that's assuming we're going balls to the wall those 23 days.
Yeah.
Right. So without picking up extra days, how can you be more efficient? How can you be more effective in what you're currently doing? And I promise you that'll help you increase your income. And and by the way, your monthly expenses stay the same. So if you increase your monthly income, you're condensing time frames. You got more room to work with your income. And ultimately, if you're doing this way earlier in life, you're condensing time frames, you're going to your goal faster.
And it's going to compound.
And
no
you
matter
can
what.
compound as well. So condensing time frames. And so whenever I'm talking to you guys or anybody on our team, I'm looking at you as if you're me at that age. I'm like, man, I wish I would have heard this. So that's what I'm going to tell them. So that's a big one. Anything else on folks not trying to get their money right in sales and how it can kill you, literally kill you in sales.
Kill you in sales. I want to say the ego.
Where you quit.
I want to say the ego. That's a very big thing I was the person who came in, I'm going to crush this, dude. Like sales can't be that hard. It can never be that hard. I love talking to people. And then you go in, you get crushed over and over and over again. But because my ego was so high, I never want to ask for help. It's like, I'm going to figure this out as soon as possible to myself. No one else is going to help me. I'm going to be the guy who digs my grave, digs me out of my grave. But ironically, I was the guy who digged my grave.
Yes.
And you got to drop the ego. You got to get people to help you because condensing time frames, doubling your income, that only works if you take advice from other people.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's really crazy.
It's easier.
It's easier. You got to be vulnerable. You got to drop the ego because the ego is a big thing. That was for me, still is today, to listen, to absorb the information, to actually take what they're saying and apply it to you without you experiencing it. Because the only way you take shortcuts in life is by mentorship. And if I have to learn it myself, then it's going to take me 10 times longer to actually go through where I want to. When you already went through it 10 years ago, 5 years ago, like, hey, I did this and it gave me this.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Right.
Okay. Instead of me having to walk through it now, I can just say, I'm just going to do this. So I don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And when you drop the ego, I learned from your mistake. You learn from my mistake. And it goes from, let's say me and you are in a B&B. Let's say me and you are like on the car lot, whatever. My day and your day, instead of being like, I worked 5 days. If we just learn off each other, that's 10 days of progress.
There we go.
And more people you add on, the more progress you make. And so instead of a 365 for just me and you bouncing off each other, I learned 2 years of information in 1 year because we see everything in different lenses.
Yeah.
So gotta drop the ego.
Got to drop the ego. The path is already there, right? Think about a thick jungle. There's already a path. And it's like, am I following somebody's path? Am I following somebody's game plan? Not 70%, not 80%, not 90%. Am I following their game plan exactly? And like, there should be some peace to that, right? To where it's like, okay, I just have to follow direction exactly. Thank goodness, right? I don't have to go through the jungle with your machete and pave your own path.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you're trying to do something Elon's doing, which I encourage everybody to do. But like at the end of the day, the path is already there. Somebody somewhere has already done that thing you want to do at a high level, and you just got to find them.
Just gotta walk it.
Right. And that's one of the purposes of this podcast is like, look, hey, really what we're trying to do here, folks, is save you years. Okay. Like if you're in your 20s, like, hello, I'm trying to save you years. All right. Like literally. Yeah, and it's by condensing time frames, leaning into your mentorship and just working your ass off and just doing that cycle over and over and over again, you're going to move way faster, way faster. So what's another downfall or pitfall of the salesperson, the average salesperson?
I feel like that's all my main topics.
Okay.
I feel like I hit everything when it comes to my 4 points. If you just really lock in focus of what we just said, that's going to be the big killers of any salesperson. That's the difference between going from poop to mediocre and mediocre to great and great to greatness. That is the step points of what you should do to get there. Because I feel like we pretty much covered most of the things, unless you got something.
Yeah. Dive deep into the recesses of your mind. Shut your eyes and go back to when you first started. What else? If you could wave a magic wand, and you're like, man, if I would have done this just a little bit different, if I would have just been a little bit more dialed in here, what's coming to your mind?
I wish I was more, I had more gratitude towards life. I'm so driven on what's next. How can I hit my goal? How can I do this? How can I do that? I forget the person you're becoming.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to reflect, like you said a year ago, and really picture myself, who I was, who I became, and the steps it took me to be here. And when you just find that gratitude into yourself and you figure out, oh, I am making progress. I am becoming who I say I am.
Yeah.
It gave me this weird feeling of, I am supposed to be where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I am on the right path to be next. So really look back. That was a cool exercise. Look back, embrace when you started, and just go by month per month. What was my biggest win? What was the thing I overcame? What was my biggest struggle? And how would I handle that now?
Yeah.
And just from then to now, it's going to give me the gratitude to actually, that made me feel really good. It's like, if I do that on a
Practicing gratitude.
If you do that on a daily basis, like you can't help but to smile.
Yeah.
And you can't help to realize like I'm making true progress.
Yeah. And if you're looking for a book that is around that topic, it's The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. The Gap and the Gain. I've got 2 copies downstairs. It is awesome. And the whole premise of the book, read it. The whole premise of the book is always measure backwards, right? Because sometimes, especially if you're a high performer, we compare oftentimes to other people. It's like, this person's out producing me. Okay. I must have a defect, blah, 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 whatever our minds
They must
do.
be special.
They must be special. Something I ain't got, something I don't have. So always measure backwards. Be careful on the comparison. And we can compare to other people, which watch out for social media, because that's why it's there. And the other thing is sometimes we compare against ourselves, either ourselves in the past, right? Let's just say you earn $18,000 in a month. You're like, oh my God, but I made 27 that one time, like, hey man, but yeah. So look how far you've come, right? So we could be comparing ourselves to other people or our past version of ourselves, or this is what destroys me. is I compare myself to the ideal version of myself, right? So I'm on bench and I bench 275 and I'm like, that's not enough, right? Or I run whatever amount and it's this time. That's not fast enough. So sometimes we compare ourselves against the ideal version of ourselves, and you just gotta give yourself grace and measure backwards and just say, look how far you've come. If you're 1 week into sales, look at your intro now compared to when you started day one and you did it on your first try. Like, I bet you're infinitely better. Right. And so, once you start practicing gratitude and like just measuring, look how far you've come, man, things become a little bit more optimistic, because in sales, sometimes it's not that optimistic.
And that helps you change your perspective.
Absolutely.
And it gives you that positive pat energy.
There you go. Well, I think you're an extremely positive guy. One thing, if we can measure backwards, look at your leadership over the last 12 months. Holy smokes. Are you just a different dude now than you were 12 months ago?
Yeah, dude. I was scared to even book a hotel room for the conference for my guy. I was like, ooh,
maybe Pat can do it.
Maybe Pat can do it. Maybe they can help me.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, yeah, I'll just, if you need me to, I'll just book it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you need to go, like, let's go together. I had a guy who wanted to drive. I was like, can you afford to fly? He's like, yeah, of course. But I want to drive to meal prep. Okay, this is what we're going to do. If you want to drive, I'm gonna ask the teammates to see if anyone can drive with you. If not, I will be in the car next to you to go there, and then Land's gonna fly.
There you go.
I was like, but I'm gonna make sure you're not by yourself. That's my girlfriend. I'm gonna make sure you're not by yourself. But I'll tell you, a year ago, I would have been like, oh, we're all gonna be together. Where I was like, oh, it just makes everything cheaper.
Yeah.
But now it was so cool to see who I became, and it's like, I'm only doing this so I can make sure he gets there better, gets there safer, is entertained, it's not by himself.
Yeah, you've got experience, right? And so that's just one situation, right? And there's just infinite, right? And we can go on that. We're definitely doing episodes on sales management, leadership. Oh my gosh. Jocko Willink says leadership is the most important thing on the battlefield, and holy smokes, leadership is the most important thing in sales, I tell you what. And if you don't even have a team, who cares? It's about leading yourself. Always. Right? So we'll do an episode, maybe the next one. And so as we take this for a landing, the last thing that I see that sales folks, one of the big pitfalls is that we don't optimize for performance. We oftentimes optimize for comfort. And you got to, anything we talk on this podcast about is like, we've got to look at it through an honest lens. Oh yeah, I'm definitely optimizing for performance. Like, probably not. All right. Like, I work on this a lot, and like I start leaning towards comfort sometimes, and you got to catch yourself. So am I really optimizing for performance? Because guess what? If you're in sales, is this a performance-based career?
You get paid off of performance.
Exactly. And if you ain't getting paid that much, then, you got to look at the man or the gal in the mirror and know that you can make a change. But one of the biggest pitfalls is not optimizing for performance. We optimize for comfort, right? So what does that mean to you, Dylan?
It's like saying, oh, I'm going to get a 6-pack, but then you're eating donuts.
Bingo. Exactly.
It's you're trying to say you're this, but you're not actually performing the task it takes to be that thing. And it's like same with a bank account, right? It's like, oh, I want 10K stacked, but then I just bought a brand new car. Oh, now I'm going to go. I just went to a $1,000 restaurant and I just spent all of that money. It's like, now I just started back from zero.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this, but I'm actually performing this.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And so if we think of those examples, right, we're optimizing, we get the money and then all of a sudden we get the car, right? It's like, can you buy in cash? You got 100, 200 grand stacked, right? You should not be investing in a car unless you got a bunch of money, right? For the most part, right? But in those situations, we're optimizing for maybe keeping up with the Joneses, looking cool. Like, this is where you got to take an honest look at yourself. Am I optimizing my life to look cool? And to seem confident, to whatever else, is like, look at it through an honest lens. As Tony Robbins says, how interesting. What am I optimizing for right now? Right. And that's a very important thing. So if you're optimizing performance, you're going to be perfecting your craft. Right. You're going to be practicing. This dude wrote down a script 15 different ways. A couple other guys in the studio did the same. Right. Right, Moody? You got your pitch written down?
You got to
right?
be obsessed with.
You got to be obsessed. And so are we optimizing for performance? A few things to think about. I call them, or maybe somebody else called them this, but income producing activities, right?
Oh, the gold time versus the brown time.
There you go.
I love that.
So that's productivity pyramid. We can come back. That's Tony Robbins. And so, but income producing activities can be anything that helps you perform better or feel better or have a better attitude, right? And then so that can be a wide range and varies from person to person, right? Playing guitar probably would not give you energy.
No.
It would probably piss you off.
Would.
And your fingers would bleed. You're like, what the hell is this? Right. But when I pick it up, I'm like, hell yeah. Like that feels good. So and to me, playing guitar just by myself, my dog's the only one listening. That is an income producing activity for me because I'm moving the ball down the field. It actually gives me energy. Right. And so what in your life actually gives you energy? So if you want to take notes, is write out an energy giving list, a list of things that genuinely give you energy. And I bet watching Netflix or being on social media for 17 hours in a day does not give you energy, even though we might say it gives us energy. So how can we prioritize our sleep? How can we prioritize our diet? How can we prioritize prospecting for clients? How can we prioritize preparation? Right? We need to be practicing. We need to be studying. We need to be planning. We need to be organizing. This is my list. You can borrow it, right? Actual selling time. Am I prioritizing my life to have more time to sell stuff?
Yeah, you got to focus on the field that's going to actually move the engine.
That's right.
Instead of worrying about what color the car is.
There you go. Exactly. And really, ultimately, if you don't know what to do in sales right now, spend more time with qualified prospects. That's it. That's your number one goal. Just spend more time. How can I spend more time with qualified prospects? Family time is energy giving. Exercise, right? Now, for instance, give you a real life example is I want to prioritize to be able to perform here, do a better job here. And what I prioritize, or one thing that I was optimizing for, is being better here, right? And so what I did is went to the gym. I don't know how exactly I'm better today because of that, but I know for sure I'm better because I know I gave my all at the gym. I kicked my own ass and I finished it strong. And I know it's going to help me here. And here's the screwed up part is you can't really put your finger on it. You can't be like, yeah, like,
it's delayed gratification.
I got good sleep last night. So, it made me $172 more. Can't put your finger on it. But how can you optimize for performance? And I bet that we're not as optimized as we may think. And so what I see in new sales guys or just sales guys in general, especially once we get to a certain point, is we start optimizing for comfort and we stop optimizing for performance. So make a list, make a menu that genuinely gives you energy, genuinely gives you confidence, and helps you have a clearer mind. A more clear mind, because doesn't more energy, a better attitude help you make more sales?
Always.
Doesn't having more confidence help you make more sales?
Always.
Right? And doesn't have a clearer mind while you're out there in the field, sitting down with prospects, talking to people, doesn't that help you make more sales?
Always.
So write down the things that actually genuinely give you energy, give you confidence, and help you have a clearer mind, right? So you are a sales professional. As Ed Milet says, you're a business athlete, and it's time for us to act accordingly. Taking care of your physical condition is 100% an income-producing activity. And if you don't think so, change your physical condition night and day over the next 6 months, and tell me your sales did not go up. Tell me your confidence didn't go up. Tell me, because then I'll call you a fibber fox, right? Because that's just not true. Because when we feel better about ourselves, when we increase our self-esteem, then it shows in our presentation. Isn't it interesting when we're kicking ass and everything else in life? Isn't it interesting that we just sit down with better prospects, right? We make bigger sales, more consistent.
Sales is just a reflection of who you are. That's all it is. It's just a mirror.
Period. So if you don't like what you see in your business, you got to take a look in the mirror. I love it. Anything else here before we take this for a landing here, Dylan?
No, I think that's it. I feel like we hit everything. I feel like if someone listened to all 50 minutes of this, they're going to go way further than what we did when we started.
Exactly. And apply, right?
And apply, yeah.
And you got to apply. Like what fits, what's your, put in the comments, hey, what's your number one takeaway here? What's the one that's like, oh my God, I never thought of that? Or what's the thing that's like, oh, I knew that, but I got reminded of it and I need to plug and play. I need to put it into my life. I need to put it in my craft. I need to put it in my schedule. So this is a never ending game. This is not something you cross the finish line. You're like, I'm the best at sales ever. And then it sticks forever. No, you got to keep working at this. And so I love that. So we appreciate you sticking around. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. We just want you to earn a better living, have a better, higher standard of living, have more confidence out there. We want a bunch of guys and gals that just love life more and can spread more joy and kindness, and we can do it through sales. One of our ultimate missions is to change the stigma of salespeople, right? Is to change the stigma of salespeople. One of our goals, because we sell insurance, is like when they see an insurance guy, they're like, wait a minute, what are you here to sell? And then we're like, hey, we help folks with insurance. They're like, oh, insurance? I love you guys. Yeah. So that's
Come
what
right
we're trying
in.
to, yeah. And we're starting to see that when they see our company name, they're like, oh, I've sat down with you guys before, and they got a good energy. Right. So we always leave with good energy whenever we're leaving a client's house, because it's an in-home sales situation for us. So public service announcement, it is free to be kind. And I think it's important to spread your light. Let your light shine, whoever you are. Lean into the goodness that God has given you on a daily basis. Be kind to strangers. Let's be nicer to each other on the road, right? Aren't we all tired of a bunch of assholes on the road, right? And if someone's being an asshole to you on the road, let them be and keep on going. And you be that nice person that lets that person in safely. Of course,
you can be happy for no reason.
You can be happy for no reason. How much does that cost?
Nothing.
It costs nothing. That's right. Well, we appreciate you guys sticking around. And Dylan, what time is it?
It's go time, baby.
It's go time. Peace.